I learned a lot visiting the Great Dismal Swamp National
Okay,
Wildlife
today we've
Refuge.
had owl pellets for kids to dissect. When an owl eats, it swallows its prey whole, but it can't digest the bones or the fur, so it coughs that up in a pellet after it digests the food out. Then we can take the pellets and take them apart and find out not only what the owl ate, but we can learn a little bit of anatomy by taking the bones and putting them back together and learning what they are.
Susan was a very beautiful lady. She's not only a teacher, but she's also a volunteer with the U.S. Fish and Wildlife Service. And her explanation of an owl, how an owl eats, and what happens, I thought was fascinating. Equally as fascinating, I think, as my bus ride into the Dismal Swamp. The bus ride itself was fascinating. I couldn't help but think about the Great Underground Railroad and how prominent the Dismal Swamp is to that historical part of America. The Great Underground Railroad. Can you imagine what those people must have endured going through the Great Dismal Swamp? Driving on the bus, I kept thinking about Susan and her lecture on the owl pellets, and I wondered, am I ever going to get a chance to go through the Dismal Swamp and find perhaps one or two owl pellets that I can perhaps take apart and find out what that particular owl had for lunch? Oh well, my mind was soon back on the Dismal Swamp. Did you know that the Great Dismal Swamp National Wildlife Refuge is approximately 111,000 acres of forested wetlands? Lake Drummond itself is over 3,000 acres. Did you know that? I hope you'll come to the festival next May to not only see the Great Dismal Swamp and Lake Drummond, but to meet the people.
All I'm doing is painting this, in Japanese it means kiwi, on the back of a little bookmark or keychain or whatever you can use it as. That symbol means K, K-I, W-I, and then I.
Isn't kiwi spelled K-I-W-I?
Yeah, but in Japanese it's different. It's really simple.
No one really knows how the lake was formed, but it is my theory, mind you, that this lake was formed by a meteor. One thing for sure, this particular area has been home for many, many thousands of years to many different types of people. It's fascinating. Did I mention the fire? Ah, so much to tell, so little time. Whoops, I just ran out of time, but make it a point to bring your family to the Great Dismal Swamp, to see Lake Drummond, find out about the Indian activities in this particular area in the past, and you will not regret coming here.